Hello and welcome back to Premier League Match Night Live. And it wasn't the start to 2013 that we wanted, losing 1-0 at home to QPR and in the process dropping valuable points. And now with the league taking a break because the FA Cup takes centre stage this weekend, it is time for you to get involved. How are you feeling about things? Not just this evening. Let's look back at the festive period and who tops your January shopping list with the window wide open. Now, you know the number you need to call. It is, of course, 0844 543 4969. You can send an email to chelseatv@chelseafc.com and you can also send us a tweet. Pat Nevin and Clive Wilson are with me, and as always, we look forward to hearing from you. Okay then, gentlemen, there were cricket scores being banded around before this match kicked off, especially on Twitter. It wasn't to be. We don't get the 3 points. Clive, your thoughts in the immediate aftermath?
Obviously disappointing. Obviously a disappointing result for Chelsea. For QPR, it's an absolute fantastic result. I mean, after them being berated for their performance against Liverpool, their prides were hurt. So we didn't expect them to come here and lie down, so to speak, and roll over. They came here with a game plan, came here, sat 10 men behind the ball and broke whenever they could. And for them, it's job done. I mean, come here and get a point. You're going to get 3 points, sorry, after this season that they're having is an absolute fantastic start for them.
They would have thought that a draw would have been the equivalent of a win for them, but to actually walk away from here with 3 points, great for them, but not good for us.
25 minutes to go, they get a corner kick, and the fans celebrated as if it was a goal.
I know.
That's how much they were expecting to win. No, and it's a fantastic thing. First of all, let's be up front. Well done, they worked hard.
Yeah,
they worked the socks off QPR. It was all about defending. It reminded me greatly of certain international games we used to play in against the likes of the Faroe Islands or San Marino. They just sit in, they scarcely come out apart from the odd break. But in simple terms, who played particularly well for Chelsea tonight? Not many. We made a lot of changes, and in that, those changes were made, there was no fluency whatsoever to the first half. It was a very, very dull first half. And with that lack of fluency, it gave, apart from the fact that Chelsea found it very difficult to get it going at all, took a long, people will call in, you'll say, you know, Mata could well have been on a bit earlier, we'd have given a little bit of time maybe to have some sort of control on it. But in the end, if you get 45 minutes and you're the team that's visiting and no one is really causing you trouble, your heart lifts. You start believing you've got a cause to fight for. Had Chelsea gone at them, you know, hammer and tongs in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes and got a goal, they would have crumbled. They absolutely would have crumbled. But given them that 45 minutes, they just grew and grew and grew and had a cause to fight for. And in the end, it's hard to argue. I think a fairer result would have been a draw because we had the vast majority of the play. But in the end, I don't think we could really say we deserved to win that much.
Let's take a look at the match stats and see if they reflect the full-time scoreline. Here we go. This is how things panned out. Possession 58% in favour of Chelsea. You'd expect that at least from the home side. On target, Chelsea 11, off target 12. And then 5 for QPR and 3 off. And then look at that, 14 corners for Chelsea. And Pat, as you said, they celebrated their corners like it was a goal. So they are the stats that tell us the story of the game. And the one thing we don't want to look at is that top line. 1 goal to QPR, none for Chelsea.
Well, there's two totally and utterly shocking lines there if you look at them. 1-0 to QPR, but the bottom line as well. 1-0 in yellow cards.
He was very lenient, wasn't he?
What is he doing tonight? I mean, hey, it's not the reason why we get beat tonight, but to be fair, it did us a favour. Marco Maron had to go. That's a red card every day of the week, so he's missed that. But I think he took up good position as a central midfielder.
Well, I'm not sure Clive agrees.
I mean, as a central, not as a referee, as a central midfielder, because he kept on getting in the way. You first words you said to me, you walked in, I'm doing it in the online commentary, saying, what are you doing standing in the space that players are trying to develop? And it was time and time again, and a couple of times, one particular time when Frank and David bumped into each other, because both of them had only one pass on. Yeah. There was a big yellow jersey in the way. Anyway, that's by the by. That's not
the reason why they lost the game, mind.
Yeah, we're not going to speak of that with the referee. Now all the games are complete. Let's round up the results from last night tonight and then look at the table and see what's what. And the big winners But the Manchester sides, they got convincing wins. There was frustration for Arsenal at Southampton, and Tottenham continued their good form. You'd expect there a 3-1 win at home to Reading. And then tonight, Liverpool with a brace from Luis Suarez and Raheem Sterling getting the first goal, winning comfortably at home to Sunderland. And then Everton are coming through against Newcastle at St James's Park. Cisse gets the first goal, and everyone said Demba who, but they didn't get the 3 points. And in terms of the top of the table, Clive, we spoke about this. We needed the points to keep pace with the Manchester sides. They are the big winners from this weekend.
Yeah, it's funny how the league's taking shape now. The three teams at the top, I think they've all won their games over Christmas.
Yeah.
And opening up a slight gap between the other teams. Chelsea winning tonight naturally would have closed that gap.
Yep.
But they've now got some work to do to make up them 7 points. Well, make up the 7 points to get into second place. And what were they off? 14 points off the top. So it's a lot of work to do for me.
Before tonight, we were looking at the table thinking, get the win tonight and we're chasing the top two. After tonight, we're thinking, right, let's concentrate on top four. And that's the difference one result can kind of make for you. Because this was, there is no such thing as a banker in the Premier League, but this is as close as you could get to it. And we blew it.
We spoke before the match about the need for rotation, especially during this Christmas period. Changes were made. Pat spoke about the lack of fluidity and the coherence between the sides, especially in that first half. Do you blame that down to too many changes? Do you blame it on tiredness? What do you blame this performance and result on this evening?
But I think you can just blame it on the players that were out there. There's only one factor that stops the team winning. As I say, QPR came with a game plan, and Chelsea truly just couldn't break it down. It's not about the rotation because he's got enough players in that. I mean, there was enough nucleus of players who played in the last game, played in this game to say, well, we're not missing that many players to make us go from that good performance at Goodison to the performance that they had tonight. So it's nothing to do with the team because it's a squad. So they win together, they lose together, and that's the simplicity of it. But I just didn't, for me tonight, I just didn't think Chelsea showed enough urgency. I think everyone kind of had an expectancy of QPR just coming in, Chelsea beating them quite comfortably. But that's never the case.
You could never underestimate a team. We know we respected QPR, but we were going through the stats like anyone else, saying, well, they've only got one win this season and they haven't won here in 30 years, etc., etc. And did we see a little bit of that, a little bit of complacency in the performance?
It may have been complacency. I think there was two problems. There was a bit tiredness, a bit jaded reaction from some of the players. But I often say, if you're playing 4-2-3-1, the important line is the 3. That's the imperative line, because that's your creation. And really, I don't think Victor had his best game tonight. He was quiet. Oscar flitted in and out of the game tonight, got a few heavy kicks later on. Marin had a strange up and down game. Certainly for 5, 6, 7 minutes at the start of the second half, you think, ooh, yeah, we can see it now. But you get a feeling in important games, and I think this was an important game, a very important game.
Of course.
He's a player you're still thinking about bringing on as a substitute to get used to the pace of it.
Okay.
So in the end, those 3 in the midfield, it's easy to say it with hindsight, very easy to say it with hindsight. But looking at that type of defence with 10 men stuck in there in very, very little space, incredibly small spaces there are 2 players that Chelsea have got more than anyone else that are built to break that down. And it's Hazard and it's Mata. And Mata gets 14 minutes, whatever, at the end of the game, and Hazard, the 2 changes at half time.
Well, we've had a few tweets already asking about Mata, saying he should have started and why didn't he?
Time to rotate, you do need to give people rest. Rafa would have looked at players in training and might have thought they looked a little bit jaded, a little bit tired. That can happen. We've watched it happen with Hazard already this season when he's gone through that sort of phase. So he does need rested at certain times. But it was a lot of changes, and it's that front 3 midfielders. They are the important ones. And if you're trying to break down a packed defence, they are the vital ones. They absolutely must trust them to be able to open that. And tonight, very seldom did Victor really get behind them. Marin, for 5 minutes, as I say, at the start of the second half, did so. Oscar, now I wouldn't blame Oscar for this. It just says right up front, he's playing in the 10 position against 3 players on his own, against 3 players. And by the way, he was getting kicked lumps out of all night long. So I'm not having any dig at Oscar. That's almost an impossible position to play tonight for him to try and find space in there. Actually, 3 players and a referee, all in the same job here tonight. So that was a disappointment of it. And you know, and the question will be asked, and there's no point docking it just now, did Rafa make a mistake? And that's the question that Chelsea fans will be asking and thinking about tonight. And if he did make a mistake and went with the wrong team, I guess it's probably his first mistake he's made.
0844 543 49 69 if you would like to join us. You can also send us an email or a tweet, and we're also going to be getting reaction from those involved. But we're actually going to start from a man that we know well, but we wish he hadn't played well this evening. It's the goal scorer for Queen's Park Rangers. It's former Blue, Sean Wright-Phillips, and he's speaking to Neil.
Sean Wright-Phillips, respect, no celebration.
Well, for me, the Chelsea fans, and especially the players and staff, have always been pretty loyal to me, so I think I should show the same respect to them. And even when I came on and warming up, they gave me an applause, so it was only right that I did that.
It was your first league goal for QPR, for God's sake.
Yeah, I know, in 54 games, been counting, don't worry about that. It does get you. I know how strikers actually feel now, because it's the first time it's happened to me, and it is hard to turn around, but I think because of the players and the coaches that pushed me, I think it's helped me.
Were you surprised by Chelsea's lineup, by Chelsea's performance?
For me, yeah, but obviously I'm a player, I'm not a manager, so it's bewildered me as much as it would everybody else, I think.
And how good were QPR compared to the rest of the season today?
I think what we had well this year is we had a platform where we knew what we was doing and we played on a break. And I think in a situation we're in with the players we've got, I think that suited us because we broke quite quickly when we had a chance. Not everything came of the passes and the options we chose, but to get in the final third as many times as we did, I think if we do that all the time, I think we'll benefit a lot from it.
How good are we? How good should we be?
I don't know. For me, it's a great team. You've got a great squad of players, but just sometimes, like, obviously you've had loads of games, so sometimes players need to be rested, but then sometimes is it the right choice? So it's sometimes at the toss of a coin, but it's hard. I can imagine it's hard as a manager to pick players and keep players happy.
How are you?
I'm fine. I feel like I'm about 21, but, you know, I feel like I'm growing anyway, if that counts for much. But no, it's really hard times where we are, and for myself and I think a lot of other players that's never been in the position before, it's a fight, and we're fighting for our lives. And I think, as everybody can see, we're trying to give 110% every game, but not every game it goes the way you want it to. Like I experienced against Liverpool, no matter how hard I tried, it seemed like things just wasn't going my way. But it's football, and you just have to put your head down and keep working just as hard.
Well, we wish he hadn't scored his first goal in 54 appearances, but that was Sean Wright-Phillips speaking to Neil. More reaction to come. We're also taking your calls, tweets and emails, and we will start with the phones. And we welcome Mike from Aberdeen to the show. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Gigi.
Hello, what would you like to say, Mike?
Good evening, Clive. Good evening, Pat.
Good evening, Mike.
I would just like to question the real professionalism of our club. I mean, I don't know if anyone watched the game on Saturday when Queen's Park Rangers played Liverpool. They were absolutely slaughtered in the first half. And what did they do? In the second half, they brought on Derry and other players and stifled the game. Now, I don't know if you can go through the stats over the last couple of years. How many games has Chelsea lost 1-0 to lower league or lower position clubs? And we know exactly how they play. They're gonna crucify the game. They're gonna stifle us, and they're not gonna let us play. And they're gonna get a breakaway goal. And what do we do in response to that? We put a weakened team out, a team that basically they are all good players, but they don't play together regularly. Now, why do we not win the game and then change the players and give them rest? I mean, Mata, Hazard and all the other players Why not put them on first, get a couple of goals up, and then rest them? I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, Jose Mourinho and people like this, they study other people's games and they know how they're going to come and play against us. QPR can't play us at a football game, but they're going to stifle us.
It's interesting, Mike, because I had a tweet from Chelsea FC Opinions, and they said you need to be starting every game with two of Oscar, Mata and Hazard, similar to what Mike was saying, at least. And Pat said earlier, what about starting them, then taking them off when the job is done?
Well, I think hindsight's a wonderful thing. Right? And if Chelsea had won that game, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I think the manager deems it fit that he rests some players, puts them on the bench. If things aren't going well, he brings them on. And I don't think the fact that whether it's Oscar, whether it's any two of them three, he's just got to believe in the players he's got. He can't. There's going to be games where he rests the better players, the bigger name players, and brings in his squad players to give them a chance, give them experience of playing on the big stage, getting the feel of the dressing room, the feel of the match. And this was an occasion for him tonight. It just didn't work. That's all.
Somebody else does a little bit of changing his team around, Sir Alex Ferguson, and I was at the game yesterday. Playing against Wigan, they tend to win it first and then make changes more often than not. And he started with Hernandez and Van Persie yesterday. Young was up front as well. And this was a game against Wigan, which as soon as the third goal went in, change, move, get everywhere rest you possibly can do. I'm interested to hear from Rafa and some of the lads after the game, because it just looked laboured, it looked tired, and it's that grouping. And by the way, again, we're really honest here. Well, I'm trying to be really honest. Those three that I said didn't perform, the three that you wanted to perform, that you need to perform. David Luiz did not have his best game tonight. You know, I'm a big fan.
Well, a couple of people on Twitter have pointed to David Luiz as well.
Really quiet. Well, quiet's been polite. And Frank had a very, very quiet, and that is the correct description, I think, of his game tonight. Was quite quiet tonight. So in the end, you're talking about your front six. There's not really anyone there where you can say, hey, you did well, you passed marks and well done, and you nearly won it for us. And if you've got that many players having quiet games, it doesn't matter. You can't be that disrespectful to QPR. Expect them to take them apart, especially if they are as fired that was there.
Well, Clive, you were calling for Ramirez to come on not long into the second half, just to give it that injection of pace and to get forward a bit more in the midfield. Yeah,
well, I felt that what they needed was somebody from the midfield to drive beyond the forwards and hopefully try and pull QPR further back, because there was really no space for them to run into. QPR sat really deep, but the only way they could get past that is to get someone from the midfield and maybe play balls through and get people running on. He came on with maybe 20 minutes to go. I think possibly enough. Well, in hindsight, again, not enough time for him to do any damage. But I felt somebody like him was needed early on in the second half.
Mike, thank you very much for your call. We're going to stay in Aberdeen and we welcome Mark Lovey to the show. Hiya, Mark.
Good evening, Gigi. Good evening,
Hello.
Pat, and good evening to your guest. A bit disappointed about tonight's result.
Of course.
I think the starting 11 was the wrong team. And it's not just Rafa's fault, it's the players as well. They've got to put their hands on well. And I thought Gary Cahill had a very good tackle at one point in the game when the QPR was through and goal.
Mackie.
Aye. I don't know, understand. The old rule in football is if it ain't broken, don't fix it. In the first half, David Luiz, Ivanovic, shooting was awful. I think it was a time for rugby, because it certainly wasn't playing football. And there was times that we got in the box in the first half that they were like taking this extra touch. We keep going through the same story. We keep wanting to walk the ball in the net. In the second half, we had chances to score goals. What did Chelsea players do? Take that second touch. Torres could have had a couple of first chances. Oscar, Moses, all took that second touch. If they had the ball first time across the face of goal, Chelsea would have been up. I tell you, here's a prime example of how to hit a ball was Lampard's goal. What did he do? First time, wallop. Where did the ball go? Far corner, post the net. It was in. Okay, it was called offside. And I tell you, with disrespect to QPR tonight, no team's got to give a right to say we've got 3 points. And Marco Miron was a very, very lucky man. very lucky. That was a straight red. You can't even argue about it. Why is the other managers do? Teams come to Stamford Bridge, you know they're going to park the bus, stifle Chelsea, they do it all the time, and what do? Sit back in half-hearted performance. It's just, with a real chance to catch up and close the gap, and we blew it. And I'm disappointed, but we seem to be going through the same things, studying, should have put on all your top-class players, get goals, then rest them, do what Fergie and Mourinho, that's what they all do, top managers. I'm sorry, Rafa, but you made a big boo-boo tonight, so you put your hand up, but not just Rafa, the players as well. But it was the roll on Saturday, we get back to winning ways on Saturday, and we've just got to keep the blue flag flying high. Good night.
Thank you for that, Mark. We will be hearing from Rafa Benitez very shortly. And Mark saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But then it comes back to the conversation of 4 matches in 11 days. Yeah. Surely you have to change something at some time.
And we said beforehand, we were talking about the fact that since Japan, everyone was expecting Chelsea to falter. Yeah. And they didn't until tonight. And you can, as a manager and as coaches and as the sports science people, will be looking at the players in training and we're giving the testing now that you do these days and seeing whose levels look as if they've dipped a little bit. And it may well be that some of the decisions are made on that. That's why they're given a little bit of a break. But having said that, still, I'm like a fan as well. I'm standing up at the half-time shouting, well, come on, bring Mato on at half-time. But, I'm not the only one that thought that.
Mark, thank you very much for your call. 0844 543 4969 if you'd like to join us. Now we welcome Nick from Romford to the show. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, you all right?
I'm good, thank you. Well, it could be better, but what would you like to say?
Basically, it's just about tonight's performance, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Marco Marin shouldn't have been on the pitch after the start he had. But then after that, I thought he grew, but I can't believe why he hasn't been given the chance straight away from the start of the season, obviously after his injury.
He was injured for a bit.
Yeah, but, I mean, you can't bring him in to a game like this, just chuck him in when he's not been given a chance already. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's ludicrous. I can't believe the decisions what have been made tonight. It's just an absolute no-brainer. I can't believe what's happened, to be quite honest. To start with, the team we started tonight is completely wrong.
Okay, I think this is an interesting one, and we can go back to hindsight and we can see all sorts of things, and if we'd stuck 4 past them, wouldn't be having this conversation. Clive, when you saw the 11, what was your initial? Did you think that's a weakened side or it's too weak to beat QPR? What were your honest thinkings of that 11?
My honest opinion was that side should be good enough to get a result tonight.
Okay.
Right? That QPR, the reason why they didn't get a result was because QPR came in and defended very well. There's no saying that if that had been different personnel there, that the outcome possibly wouldn't have been the same. The caller just said that he feels that Marin should have started or not started in this game. Yeah. But if he's going to get experience, when does he get it? Does he get it from the bench? He needs to start at some stage. Rafa needs to see, can he handle the occasion? It was an opportunity.
Is it not maybe the case? I think the caller was maybe slightly alluding to the fact that maybe you bring him in a game where Mata and Hazard are both playing, and then you've got Marin as well. So you've actually got, a strength of 2/3 of what you usually have. I think that's what the caller was maybe.
It was too different to bring him into
this. It was
this.
very different tonight. It was Oscar who hasn't started all that many games, and you expect him to control a game. Moses who has started a few, but not all of them. I think of those 5 players we talk about, I think the 2 obvious starters in the big games are Hazard and Mata. I think they are there, and they didn't start tonight. But hey, again, my complaint wouldn't be that. I would understand Rafa wanting to do that. He wouldn't expect everybody else like Lamps and David Luiz to have poor games by their standards, and quite poor games by their standards. What I would have liked to have seen is changes quicker. That's all.
Okay. Nick, thank you very much for your call. If you'd like to join us, 0844 543 4969. Now, we are going to be hearing post-match from Marco Marin, who we've just been talking about. But first up, speaking to Neil, Rafa Benitez.
Rafa, was that a not-so-good performance, or was that more of a tired performance?
No, I think that we didn't play well. We didn't play well for different reasons. So I think that you could see some players that were not fresh. We didn't have fresh legs, and we were trying to manage these days, changing 2 or 3 players in every game, and it was going well. Today we tried the same. it was not going. We were expecting. They were deep. They were organized. Too many players behind the ball, but still we had to create a little bit more.
But it must be difficult for people like Azpilicueta, who can't have played well, he wouldn't have played over Christmas, never mind 4 games over Christmas, New Year. David Luiz in midfield, it's not normal for that. Torres up front on his own.
Yeah, Torres, Lampard, David Luiz, and the centre-backs, and Cesar, you say, these players, they were playing a lot of games, and we cannot change too many, and then we were trying to change the players behind the ball that they have more fresh legs, and Victor was playing before, Moses was playing before, so Oscar was playing before. So these players, they knew their jobs. Only Marco Marin was the difference, but okay, we have to accept that it was not working, and the team was not playing with the high tempo that we were expecting, and we made one mistake in a corner, and we paid for that.
You've talked a lot about rotation, but we're not a big squad. We haven't got the full numbers that you're allowed, and do we need more players?
I think that we were doing well, changing 2 or 3 players, but you could see today that some of them, they needed a rest. So we will see. We can do something at the moment, but I think that the club is working hard, and hopefully we can find what we are looking for.
You didn't have Daniel Sturridge play for you, but obviously he's now gone. We're talking to Demba Ba. What's the thinking?
I don't have any official news at the moment, so a lot of rumors, a lot of comments in the media, but officially I cannot say too much because it still is not our player.
Sturridge?
I think that has gone, so that is clear.
Now that you've had these 12 games, how are we? In the depression of a defeat, it's easy to get too worried. How are we doing?
I think that we were doing well. Obviously, you could see the team was playing well. But today, these mistakes means that you have to carry on working in the training sessions and analyzing things, and then try to encourage players to do things that we were doing well, and carry on doing the same good things, and maybe keep working hard with the other things that we were not doing well. So we said about set pieces and second balls, and you could see today we conceded in a corner outside the box because maybe you could do something more.
I want to pick up off the back of that interview with a tweet from Charlie Beckel, who says people will blame Rafa because he's an easy target. Truth is, players didn't turn up. We had enough quality to be ahead in the first half, and that's alluding to what you said when you said, I looked at that team, I thought, that's good enough.
Yeah, certainly. Rafa picks the team that he thinks will win that game. That's exactly what he did tonight. It didn't happen for them because I come back to it. QPR had a game plan and it worked for them tonight.
And Rafa said we've just got to keep doing the good things that we've been doing.
I was trying to take apart what he's saying and see if there's something in the midst of that that tells you the tactical, technical reasons what went wrong. And he did say tempo. Yeah. And the tempo was the big thing. Yeah. It was far too slow in the first half. It was giving QPR plenty of time. They broke quicker than we broke. Far quicker than we broke. And the tempo from a couple of times when Ross Summerlin goal got it, instead of moving it quick, which we've been doing well recently, it was slowed down, it was rolled out, it was passed slow. That's exactly what QPR want. All they wanted to get the numbers behind the ball, and they did get the numbers behind the ball, but they didn't have to really work particularly hard for it because we didn't attack them at pace really. But by the time they get back, then there's nowhere to go, and it's all about finding someone. Again, I don't want to repeat myself too much. Finding the types of players who are door unlockers. You know, they are the keys. The 2 best keys we've got are Hazard and Mata.
And just to reconfirm what Rafa Benitez said, he said there's no official news on Demba Ba. He isn't your calls, and we welcome Ray from Watford. Hiya, Ray.
Hi there.
Hello. What would you like to say, Ray?
Well, I don't even know what to say. I'm angry. Yeah. I'm disappointed. And shocked by this result. I kind of wonder what was going on in Benitez's mind when he chose that team. When I saw the team, I said to myself, "What's going on? You know, there's simply no way he should be tampering with the team that we we have been playing in the last few games, yeah?
Did you not think that 11 would be good enough to beat QPR?
No. Straight away. I knew it was not going to be good enough to beat. I just felt that there was a possibility, okay, that QPR would be able to do a job on us tonight with that team. I mean, let's not forget, this is QPR. You know, they are our West London rivals. This is a London derby. It was a huge game, okay? And, you know, QPR were hurting after their defeat to Liverpool. Yeah, they were always going to take this game really seriously, okay? And let's not forget also, there's a bit of history with Chelsea and QPR, you know, as to what went on last season. And I just felt that Benitez should have played his strongest side, okay? He failed to do that. I cannot believe that he could have left that Mata, Hazard, Ramirez, Cole. I mean, you know, these are big players to be leaving out. I cannot understand it. Benitez has history of doing this, okay? He's done it in his Liverpool days, all right, where he likes to rotate too much. And I've seen this so many times with his Liverpool teams in the past, where they are occasionally lose games that they shouldn't have lost, okay, because he does too much rotating. And, you know, there was no reason why he couldn't have started with his strongest side, and then, if anything, bring off some of the key players in the second half when we're 1-0 up or 2-0 up. You know, we needed enough creativity on that pitch because everybody knew that QPR were going to put 11 men behind the ball.
Ray, if I could just jump in, I think it's interesting. I want to put this to you, Pat, that when Ray saw that 11, he thought it's not good enough. QPR are going to do a job on us this evening. So he wasn't confident when he saw that team sheet.
When I saw the team sheet, I thought we might have to do something different in the second half.
Okay.
You know, and I kind of wasn't surprised that when we got to half-time. I thought, well, we didn't play anywhere near as well as I thought we should have played. The tempo wasn't up anywhere near it either. But to be fair, I think, well, it's okay, we'll get stuff in reserve. And when we need to kick on, we can kick on. But it just never happened. It's interesting to see. I mean, if you look at the team, there's two ways of looking at it. The team that's put out, you know, most of them played, as Clive was just saying there, most of them played against Everton.
7.
On the other hand, 7 against Everton. On the other hand, it's not probably your first choice left back. Azpilicueta is your first choice right back only because obviously JT's injured. That's fair enough. Not your first choice with Marin, and he would argue either Oscar or Moses. So you're probably 4 in terms of 5. Actually, that's half a team. So it's quite a lot, you know. So it is quite a lot to change. But I keep going back to the thing that in hindsight, it looks as if, you know, he's made a massive amount of changes. It looks as if it's back to 99 game Rafa, because remember that famous one where he made 99 games and he changed the team. And I have to, that was, I mean, I've been honest, but it's written on the Chelsea website, and there's no hiding it. My problem with Rafa coming here was nothing got to do with anything he said about Chelsea. I had no problem with that. That's what managers do. As a player, I used to think, why are you changing him? He's doing really well. And the one I used to get was Benayoun. You always used to let Benayoun out, and I loved Benayoun. So it's a personal thing, like. And I think that's what a lot of people thought.
I take it personal.
I
take it personal.
Well, I take it personal because I like being entertained in games, and I thought he was a fantastic player, and he had a great understanding with, at the time, Torres, strangely enough, and Gerrard. Now, I just used to think, why are you changing it? Are you changing it because you need to, or because some other reason? And it can annoy me sometimes, but I have to say, and I'll go back to what I said at the start, I don't think Rafa's made many mistakes, if any, so far. Now, if this is his first day, well, maybe he'll look back at it. Because I'll tell you what, whoever get a manager, I don't care if you're Mourinho or Jockstein or whoever, we all make mistakes, as long as you learn from them.
Right, thank you very much for your call. Now, one of the changes he made from Everton to tonight was bringing Marco Marin in to start the match, and he's been speaking post-match to Neil.
Marco Marin, finally Premier League full debut. It's been a long wait.
Yes, that's true. I was happy to start today, but I think the result makes the debut was a bad debut for me because everybody wants to win, and we had to do better in the first half, I think. The beginning of the second was okay. We had some chances, and then we got the goal.
There's been a lot of speculation in the media about you. You've said nothing. How have you found life at Chelsea?
I didn't.
How have you found your life at Chelsea, the football and everything?
Oh, okay. It was hard at the beginning with the injury. To come back was a lot of work to do, and yes, now I feel better and better, and I hope I continue now to play.
The game today started off anxiously with your challenge on Mbia.
Yeah, I thought I could reach the ball, and then when I saw it's too late, I tried to pull back my leg, and I catch him, so it was a poor foul.
And what did the referee say?
Oh, he said it's a yellow card.
You nearly set up the opening goal of the game in the second half after the corner when you went round the back and pulled the ball back for Victor Moses.
Yes, I think with a bit more luck we would score there. It was a good action, and Vic goes in good and couldn't reach the ball.
How different is the Premier League to the Bundesliga?
Oh, there are not a lot of difference. Maybe the tempo for sure is higher here, and less fouls of the referees, and these are the main things.
What was said after the game? Obviously our first time defeat in a while. What was said in the dressing room amongst the players and the manager?
Yeah, of course, we are not happy to lose this game after a few good results, and now to lose against Queen's Park, it's not good.
Marco Maron speaking post-match to Neil. We're going to go back to your calls, and we welcome Sam from Dundee to the show. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, Gigi.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, the result could have gone a little bit better for us tonight, Sam, but I'm okay.
Good. Gee, this is a question for Pat regarding all the rotation he keeps going on about and the player being tired. I was actually listening to what Kerry Dixon was saying on Sunday, and Kerry said exactly the same as what I think, Pat. You go back into the 60s, or no, the 70s and 80s, he says on about Liverpool played about 70 games when they played in the European Cup, and they had a squad of 15 players. So what's, okay, they know the players are more fitter than what we are now, but what's the difference between now and then? Me personally, I'm 53, and I don't reckon there's any difference whatsoever. You could play 70 games a season, easy.
No, you're absolutely right. I will tell you, there is one difference. There is one really quite big difference. I hope it doesn't sound like an excuse for the players, because to be honest, if I played 60 games in a season, I was perfectly happy with that. Just train less. I enjoyed it, you know. You had your ups and downs, etc. But, you know, generally I felt as if I was capable of doing that. The one difference is actually travelling for international players. We didn't do anywhere near as much. We didn't do anywhere near as many European games. When Liverpool won the European Cup, they didn't play as many games as you have to play to get through to a Champions League latter stages now. Most of the players you'll find are Brazilian. When they have to go and play their international games, they're off the other side of the planet. You know, and they're actually going, and they're jet lagged, and they come back. Their bodies are actually quite wrecked by it. Now, again, it sounds like an excuse. This is just how it feels. The reason why I clearly know how it feels is because now and again, working in this job in the media, I sometimes go with the teams. And on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night, you're somewhere in Greece or you're somewhere in Belarus or whatever. You fly back, you don't get until 4/5 in the morning. You don't really get to sleep. You're not back. You are basically still jet lagged by the time Saturday comes. And that's the tough stuff. That's only us locals, by the way, who are doing European stuff. The ones that are going to Africa, the ones that are going over there. So that's the one thing that's massively different. The game's a bit quicker, but they're fitter. That's the one thing that I think destroys them that wee bit more. Other than that, I'm with you and I'm with Kerry. And by the way, are all the phone lines in London and England down tonight? We've had two Aberdonians and a Dundonian.
It's because you're on, Pat. And Rafa Benitez speaking in his press conference, Clive, said we can't carry on with the same players every game. You have to trust your players, but we were a little bit tired.
Yeah, I think Rafa appreciates the fact that he does have a squad and he has to use them. And this team that he picked today just didn't do it today. Just didn't do it from that. But he's of the opinion that as he's got this squad of, although albeit he did allude to saying it was small. He still has to use the players within that small squad in these type of games. And it wasn't a game that I think anyone expected Chelsea to lose. I mean, I think everybody came here tonight expecting at worst case scenario to get a draw. Right? Worst case scenario was a draw, and we certainly wasn't expecting them to lose, even given that side. I mean, that side there is 7, and basically the spine. So if we go for the spine, Cahill, Lampard, Torres, to a degree, they all played against Everton. The other 4, they played as well. Turnbull finished the game, so it ain't other than three players, there ain't that big a change. It did seem like it's a big change today because they didn't play so well. But you have to give some credit to the opposition.
We didn't expect a bump in the road in the league. FA Cup this weekend, the start of the defence of our FA Cup title away to Southampton.
Yeah, and it's one we definitely want to win. You know, obviously out of the Champions League, there's still the Europa League to go for. You need to try and win every single competition you're in just now. We're in one semi-final. This is another cup we'd love to go and win, and I have absolutely no doubt at all every big gun available will be playing.
Moses and Mikel, though, we expect them to go on to the African Cup of Nations. But we've got a good squad. The transfer window's open. And gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome.
That's all we've got time for after a frustrating and disappointing night for the Blues, losing 1-0 at home to QPR to drop valuable points in the race for the title, and it keeps us in 4th place, but we do have that game in hand. Now then, to see tonight's match in full, we'll be showing Chelsea against QPR from midnight, so stay with us for that. And then tomorrow at 6:30, Blues News will be here with more reaction from this evening, the latest Chelsea goings on. And don't forget, if anything happens concerning transfers, you'll hear about it through the Chelsea media channel, so keep an eye on those. But until tomorrow, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.